Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, you probably already know that Astro's Playroom is an incredible game, but I want to focus on one part of it in particular, that is the network speedrun section here, which if you played it, you know it is 4 levels that are more traditional, very short, less than a minute, and then 4 that are kind of motion-based and takes advantage of the DualSense and its capabilities. And then down here, you've got a total time, which is a cumulative tally of all of your times, lets you know where you rank against the world in total in this mode. I am currently 32nd in the world, so not the best in the world, but my hope is I can give you some tips, some shortcuts and things like that in this video that you can improve upon, beat my scores. I'm sure I'm bound to drop fairly quickly, but for now, 32 in the world. Here we go. Okay, we're going to start with Mountain Run here. This is the first one, and it's actually one of the ones that caused me the most trouble because the current skip that kind of all the top scorers are using, it's a jump that is very difficult to make. It took me a long time to get the hang of, and I still can't do it consistently, but I'll show it off. I'm going to show it 2 different ways. So first time, I'm going to show it the conservative way, and the second time, I'm going to show it with kind of that crazy jump. So this first one is going to be the conservative way. All right, so I like to beeline to this umbrella, bounce off it. And this is all going to be about, like every one of these levels is going to be about cutting corners wherever possible. So you want to take just a straight line to your destination. You know, you're going to want to really refine whether you're landing on the left or right side of a platform based on where you need to go next. That's going to be across the board with any of these. So for here, we're going off the umbrella and we're going straight towards that other umbrella. Hover over that stuff. I like to jump right on top of that thing. This gives me a nice path to this umbrella, and I typically will, I think I can do this, yeah. You can jump, and then spin. So a spin will get you forward. This is a tip that you're going to use a lot throughout this. A spin will push you forward, and then you can do a hover after that to extend even further. So anytime you need to clear a lot of distance, which is very, very frequent when you're doing speedruns, jump, spin, hover. Sometimes you'll jump, hover, spin if you need that last boost near the end, but a lot of times it's pretty interchangeable. So you're going to bounce off of this umbrella and you're going to land on that. So notice I did the jump, spin, and then the hover to land on that. So now we're going to go and jump up on top of here. We're going to barely touch on this. Again, you don't want to stay on anything longer than you have to. So barely stay on that and then jump over here. Now check it out, I'm going to do a spin here to kind of close the gap, make some distance. And then you're going to see me just kind of jumping over a lot of stuff quickly. Jump, jump, quick hover, and then you jump off this. And then you see this ledge right there. So you're going to want to do a spin to kind of clear, get on top of that. And then you can pretty easily jump across here. You can go behind these things here so you don't really have to deal with them, and then immediately jump to the right. Now this is the point we're going to see the fancier way in a second, but right now this is the conservative way. So for the conservative way, you're going to bounce up these, bounce, bounce, and here you're going to start hovering, and you want to get on top of this ridge here. And so this is where you're really going to have to test out your kind of like clearing distance with the jumps and the hovers and the spin. So notice here, I jump, and then once the jump is kind of at its peak, I'm going to do the spin to move forward, and then as soon as that spin's done, I'm going to start hovering. And if you do it right, you will be able to land on this platform here, jump up. Important here, don't use your jets here because it'll break the glass below you. Don't use the jets here. So you're going to go here. I like to do a little spin here. Same thing over here. You see these are glass. You're not going to want to use your hover, or if you do, stop using the hover before you're directly over it. So from here, immediately turn to the right. Here's a tip. Right when you get over this, start using your jets. It is going to push this down, which you can then use to jump over this wall. You can do a quick spin here, which will clear the gap there. And then from there, you can jump right over here. Hover's fine here. Shouldn't mess anything up, but you want to move fast here. Once you get on this, you're going to want to quickly turn to the right, do a standard jump. You don't have to hover there. So if you do a standard jump there, immediately turn back once you're on it, and then you'll need a little hover here just to push you up. And then that, once you get on that platform, you're good. That should put you there. That is the conservative way to do it. As you can see, it's a decent score. That should probably put you in the top couple hundred or so, or 202 there. So now let's look at kind of the crazier thing. If you've got that, you know, that should give you a pretty good score. But if you want to go one step further, let's go with kind of the crazy skip. Okay, so we're back at this area here. So you can do this like normal. You can hover across, get past those guys, jump back. But instead of going forward when you get here, as soon as you hit the bounce, you're going to want to turn back left. I like to do a spin here just to get further left because based on the timing, those jump pads are probably going to be pretty far right. So here I will spin to clear the distance to get over there, and then I hover because you want to get up on this lower ledge right here. So you're going to land here, and this is the hard part. This is the part I fail just about every time. Okay, so you see there's those three, well, I guess 4 vines or so on the far edge. You kind of want to get on like the second one from the left, kind of between the second and third. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So you really want to extend these jumps as far as you possibly can. So you do a jump forward, and then once you start going down there, kind of stop the fall with the spin. And once the spin has gone all the way, hit those jets. Hold the jets. You're going to fail this a lot. I have failed this a lot more than I've made it. But if you do it right, you should land right in this little notch. This is tough. Even this next part is tough here. So you're going to land there, and then you can jump and hover over and land on top of that little ridge right there. Now, this is important. You notice back there, the giant, the big like glass things, they came up. This is really inconsistent for me because there is a way to shave off even more time. If you can get up there before it triggers them going up, you can get on top of one of them and it'll launch you up and you can kind of jump over and really get a crazy time. I have not been able to do that yet. I've not figured out exactly what triggers those to come up. But let's say they go up early like this, then you just go over like normal. Everything else from the more conservative way applies. Go up to that one, quick jump, back up. And you'll notice, I think here actually I set my new record here. Because yeah, that is a difficult thing for me to get, even though I've tried hundreds of times at this point. So that is how you do the crazier thing. Work on that. If you find other videos of like world records and stuff of Mountain Run, you will see some people doing the thing where it launches you into the air. That's crazy. I have not been able to do that yet, but hopefully this will get you started. Space Run. Okay, this is a fun one. And again, there is a conservative way and a crazy way to do this one. We'll start with the conservative one. This one, fairly straightforward. Literally, I just go straight here. Don't move left or right at all. Normal little hops here. I'm not even really hovering for a lot of this. So on this one here, what you're gonna wanna do is when it starts shaking, do a little hop. As long as you're in the air, when it flips over, you're gonna be fine when it lands or when it goes to the other side. And then from here, hover over here. So I try to stay, I'll show you on certain sides of these pads. This one I go there, but then this next one I go left. So I try to hover over here, clear this, and I'm trying to go left on these next two here because we're gonna need to brake left, and any place you can shave off some corners is super, super helpful here. I don't even mess with the panels going back and forth here. So aim for the left, and then you immediately start going this way because that's the path you need to be going anyway. I try to land on this little part of rock here next to these purple plants, and then you can just do the jump, hover, spin stuff, get onto the satellite. And you want to get to the far right side here. This is kind of a big jump here, but if you're on the second one, on the far right before you jump, you should be able to make that. And then as soon as you're onto here, you want to start skewing left because that's where you got to go next. So however you want to do it here, there's different ways you can try. There's no like, here's the thing. It's not like you need to follow every one of these things to a T. You just need to gauge those jumps and cutting corners wherever you can. There are certain bigger skips and everything that are good to know, but don't try to follow every jump, spin, and hover to a T here. All right, so here, I try to stay on the right side of these platforms because as you can see, you're gonna need to start going to the right here. So if you do that right, totally bypass that thing. Don't need to say hi to that guy. Do the spin. Again, this one's gonna be kind of close, but then you can hover and land on that. Same thing here. You're gonna wanna stay towards the right here on this jump pad because you're gonna be going right after this. Now, this is where the change between the conservative way and the crazy way is here. So the conservative way here is once you get with like 2 platforms left here, you can hover up here, get onto the second platform. You don't light the dynamite and don't jump on that first platform. So you're gonna get up here, you're gonna turn left, and you're gonna try to hover between the dynamite and the wall here. If you do it right, you jump right off that, hover, it should take you up here. All right, you get on there, and then you're gonna immediately turn right, and you're gonna jump around the edge of this boulder and dynamite here, okay? And you're gonna wanna do the spin. So do the punch to kind of spin around, and then you're gonna hover, which brings you back onto this. There's my dog's barking. So you'll land there. And then there's this little slide here, and if you jump at the bottom of slides, you can kind of keep some momentum going. So there's only a few places where you can take advantage of that. I try to do it here. I'm not sure if I even timed it right here, but you get to the bottom of the slide, you jump, and then he'll go a little faster forward. So, and then this is pretty standard, jump, hover, spin. And you'll want to start punching kind of right when you get onto this white panel here. If you do that, you'll punch it without wasting any time. You want to immediately do a small hop, and then that'll send you right up there to the finish. Again, pretty good time, but that's the conservative way. So let's take a look at what we can shave off if we get a little crazy here. So here's how to get a little crazy here. This is all normal here. This is near the end of the level. You're gonna get up here, but then instead of jumping up, well, I guess we are still going up to that second platform. It's where we're going after that that's a bit different. So right here, instead of going left, there is a weird little part of this structure that you can jump off of. And it's hard to show because the camera kind of gets behind some stuff here, but it's right, look where his feet are. It's gonna be that little platform on the right there. And if you time it right, you can get another jump right there. That's where the camera gets weird, but the jump connected, bring it up, hover around, that resets your hover, and then the rest is exactly the way you did it the conservative way. As you can see here, I think I actually set another record for myself with that because that's something I've only tried a couple times because it's kind of hard to land that. But if you can do it, you can definitely shave some seconds off your time. Frozen Run. So this one, fairly straightforward. I like this one a lot. This is one where, again, you're just going to want to keep those straight lines to your destination. I don't know if every way I do this is the exact right way to do it, so don't get so hung up on doing every jump the same way I do, but just kind of do the general stuff here if you want to improve your time. So I jump to this first one, but then I try to skip this whole thing here. So I get up to that top one, and this one I start with a hover because you want to save your punch to get through that. And hopefully you can clear that deep snow there because that'll slow you down. So kind of wait until the last second to do that punch. And then from here, I'm not really punching these icicles or whatever the hell you want to call them. I'm just kind of going around. And I'm taking those jumps as far as I can possibly take them. And this is a big one here. So you can see, you can clear all that space there. And this one's important. You will want to make it so you can jump and hover far enough to get up on that upper part there. That'll save you that jump. That'll shave off a second or so. This part is really inconsistent to me. I can't tell you exactly which ones to jump on, but I would say just go for broke each time. Go as far as you think you can make it. As you do this enough times, you will kind of get used to how many you can clear because they're moving towards you. So it can be kind of tricky to gauge. But you should be able to do it with only jumping on a couple of them. You see I just jumped on a couple there, and that was enough to get me over here, punch through here. Stay on the right side of this slide here. Jump to the last second. Don't land on any of these things. You don't need that. You can totally clear this pretty easily with just the jump, spin, hover. You want to skip this first jump pad here. So just jump and hover above that. You don't need it. Keep a hover going when you go up here, and it's going to break the glass. And then you should be able to land right on this, which will send you up. You can kind of do some spinning and hovering to skip a little bit of this here. You want to do a hover here. Don't go higher than you need to because you're going to have to wait for Astrobot to fall. So do enough to kind of clear the glass, land, skip. And then here, again, you want to do one of those real big jumps. It's risky, but you want to get to the upper part there. Otherwise, you're going to waste a second or so. Get up there. And then at the very bottom here, just do a tiny little hop. And that should be enough to propel you up there to the finish. And get you a decent time there on Frozen Run. Stormy Run. This one can be a little bit tricky. There's kind of a lot of elements going on here. So what I do is I jump on this first one. I've seen some speed runs where people can actually land on, you see this electrified one here? I've seen ones where people land on the very edge and are able to jump off. I have not been able to figure out how to do that consistently. So I jump on the first one and just hover right across. Pretty standard stuff here. The timing should be fine on these. Don't worry about landing on the electricity if you're booking it. You can skip those next two by doing the jump, hover, spin. Stay on the right side of this here, bounce off, And then there's this little balcony, or this little ledge here, that you can land on. And so immediately go from here and then brake to the right, skip that. This is a new thing I've been doing recently, is I actually go on these first two, and then I go up here. I had been going up the whole steps and everything, but it's actually totally unnecessary. You can go right from this, and then a tiny little hop onto where this guy with his air traffic thing, you can bounce off this. And then you can clear this gap here. This is maybe the trickiest part of the whole level. If you time it right, you can actually jump here. You can skip that part down there. I think I do the hover, yep. And then once you are at the very last second, you can do the spin and get around that bomb. It is tricky. You will die a lot. It'll take some getting used to. Also, don't hover when you go over this next one. You might, your instincts might tell you to hover, but that's gonna extend your time. You don't want that. So just do a single hop here, and then right here, here's another skip. If you go to the right, you can actually shave some time off by going between there. For these, I like to go as straight of a line as possible. I brake to the right on this one, hover over the left one, and then I go to the right here. As long as you're jumping and hovering, you should be able to clear all those. Here's a skip. Actually, a couple skips here. So on this first cloud, if you brake right, you can definitely skip a lot of that, land here, and the same thing, skip all that stuff on the right and just go straight forward. Same way we've always done it. Here, I feel like the clouds slow you down. I try to avoid the clouds as much as possible. Again, not, you know, I don't know for sure. I haven't sat there and broken down the numbers and the science, but I try to avoid the clouds. I try to just go straight forward, do tiny little hops to get up there, do the big hover spin, and then here. Again, I don't know if I'm doing this exactly correctly here. I just kind of go by my gut when I see where the platforms are. But remember, if you don't need to hover, don't hover. It's only going to add to your time. Do a little spin if you need to. That seems a little faster than the hover. That'll bring you up there. Hopefully get you a decent time on Stormy Run. Climbing Run. This one sucks. This is real bad. Basically, I put the controller up there so you can see what I'm doing there. It is a lot of very quick back and forth and slight presses on L2 and R2. You don't want to go too hard for a couple reasons. It's faster to go light, but there's a couple parts here you're going to see very soon that will break the rocks if you aren't. So you're going to look like an idiot doing this one. I think I hurt my shoulder doing this so much, but you're going to want to make very, very fast motions with your hands to climb. And if you do that, you should climb pretty fast. Now, these are the ones that will break. If you're pressing the trigger too hard, it will break. You probably already know that if you've tried this. There's an element of luck involved here because you're just going to be going so fast. There are going to be times where you accidentally press it and you didn't need to. When you get to these, you want to do a quick shake and you want to let go when your robot is kind of upside down. And if you do that, you should get a real good launch. Clear as much space as possible here. And then start climbing up again. Same here. Again, watch. Right when I'm upside down, I'm letting go of both. You should be able to get pretty much all the way up to that next bar. This is actually not the best run here. I just didn't want to keep doing it. So I'm just giving you the basic tips. A couple options here. You can go to the left and climb up. If you're really fast at climbing, you can get up there and you can get another launch, which helps. Or you can just try to get on this and go as fast as possible up here. Grab this with one hand, and once you have one hand on it, let go of the other. You can grip it and swing across. Grab that, same thing, go over. And you can totally skip the second bar if you just get a good swing on this one. Should take you right up. Hang on to that, bring you right up. This is, yeah, not my best run. I think I was like 3 seconds behind my best here, but I just did not want to do this anymore. But that is Climbing Run. There's my actual one is 22 seconds, but no, I'm good. Jetpack Run. Okay, I think this one is really fun, but there's a little tip you should try beforehand. I found that this actually helped me out quite a bit. So before you go in, if you hit the PS button on your controller, you can go down to Accessories, pick your controller, go to Controller Settings, and then from here, you can go down to Trigger Effect Intensity. And so, you know how that's shaking so violently when you're playing? Like this one especially is really like puttering out of control. If you turn that off, it's gonna make it a much smoother experience. All right, so here's the actual level. As you can see, you're gonna hold L2 and R2 to boost. And I found that when you're going to the right, when you're trying to brake hard to the right, you should be holding the left thruster to kind of help with the angle there. So This one's pretty straightforward. You're going to be boosting pretty much full speed during this whole first part here. And then you're going to want to brake hard right once you start seeing these plants on the right here. So I like to go kind of on the left side beforehand so I can brake hard and then turn hard left. And as you can see, since I'm going left, I'm holding the right thruster here. If you just kind of tap it, you kind of feather it a little bit, you shouldn't hit the walls too much. Hit that, try to go kind of straight up here, that'll automatically push you to the left. Once you go up here, I'm just kind of booking it. You avoid these, you'll get used to this. And then again, brake hard right and then hard left. And so on the left, if you brake hard enough, you can go full speed on the thrusters and not worry about hitting your head there. So you're gonna hit this booster, that's gonna send you up. You're gonna wanna kind of go to the right to hit the second one as soon as possible. And then once you get up here, you're gonna wanna kind of let go of the thrusters and then start moving to the right as hard as you can. So that's holding in the left thruster to go to the right. Again, it takes some getting used to. And then if you let go, you can go under him and then just kind of feather it or hold it kind of halfway through to just coast through here. Once you get there, right yourself, hit both thrusters, go up, but then you're immediately going to want to start going right. Don't worry about going too fast here because the air here is going to shoot you down. So even if you're going pretty fast, which is good because you'll save some time, that'll shoot you down, keep you in check. You should be able to kind of coast over there, hit the gas. You're going to want to go left here, hit that. That's going to push you right, hit that, and there you go. Again, this one's going to take a lot of just getting used to, especially with like which thruster to use when you're using what direction, but you'll get there. Hopping run. I can't tell if I love or hate this one. I think I love that it's so short and you know if you messed up because you have to time everything perfectly here. So hold it in all the way for a big jump, but if you just tap it, you'll do a tiny hop. The only time you really need to do a tiny hop, I would suggest at the very beginning here. So you can see you do a tiny one, it just works out with the kind of spacing. You'll see what I mean in a second. But for every jump after this, the second you let go to hop, bring it back in to charge your next jump because you can charge while you are mid-jump. So right now I am charging. You see I'm already pressing it again. And then you want to let go the second you land. So watch, I'm holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it. Second I land, boom, I'm letting go, and then I'm charging it again. Here, you want to start aiming to the left, kind of in midair, but not too early, because if you go too early, it'll actually influence the direction of your jump. And so here, you're just jumping as fast as you can. Here, it's a lot of back and forth. So again, wait till you're pretty much over the thing, and then brake the other direction, and let go. So let go, here. So I always try to remember there's two parts where you're getting shot up and you don't really know which way you're going to go. It's left, then right. So for this first one, you're going left. And so as soon as you were up here, or even a little bit before, you can let go, start that jump, brake right, keep going. And this is the other one. So this one goes up and you're going to go to the right once you get to the top. So get up here. And once you land on this one, you're going to want to kind of like change your angle here. Go at like a 45 degree or less angle here because you want to land on this guy. And then turn to the left, go up there, land on that one, and then go to the end. Do not jump again. Do not jump mid geyser there, because that will screw you right up. Finally, rolling run. This one is kind of a pain in the ass. I found the best way to do it. Set your controller down, whether it's on your leg or on a table or something, and I like to use 2 fingers on the trackpad. It's a lot of speed. It's more speed than precision here. So you just really, I try to go the whole length or the height of the trackpad. And I'm just trying to, like, if you go into that sand at all, you're kind of screwed. So you just want to hug it as close as possible. This part here, you can do some pretty, like, severe changes in direction, but you're going to have to go pretty fast. Just stay out of the sand, stay close to the inside turns. Here, make sure you don't go any more right than this because you're going to go through the mud if you do, and you're kind of screwed on a good time if you do that. Go over this hill, the hill's fine. If you can, totally avoid this pin here and go to the left. That'll save you the little pause. Okay, and you can brake hard left here, hard right, go up, it's all speed. So this is kind of a tricky part here. You're gonna go off this little ledge. Once you do, immediately go hard right. See my fingers there? I'm just going straight right there. And then you can correct it very quickly. Just make sure you get across this. And once you're clear of it, start going hard left. From here, it'll respond pretty quickly if you start making a huge change in direction. You can skip a little bit of this corner here, but don't push it because you will fall and you'll hit the edge there. And then once you're clear, just go for broke as fast forward as you can. There we go. That should get you a decent time on Rolling Run. Got me a new record. So that's basically it. Those are the tips I have used to get to, well, looks like I was 32nd in the world at the beginning of recording this video a couple hours ago. Now I'm 33rd. I'm sure it will fall substantially as more people are able to get PlayStation 5s and play this, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's very simple mechanics, but even just shaving off tiny little seconds here and there is so much fun. I've spent many, many, many hours doing that. So if you were going for a, your best ranking on any of these courses or a better total time, I hope this was able to help you at all, and I hope you continue to have fun with Astro's Playroom.